Welcome back. We rejoin the party. Outside of the circle, the stone walls of the kind of nobles of Herondine. What are you doing?
I believe we made it to the steps of the circle where the higher ups meet. I guess you want to consulate. Rowan is going to get off Alder and hook him onto a post. And
Greetings, citizen. One of the guards, hailed on either side, acknowledges you in front of this large, reinforced wooden gate with these metal reinforcements and decorative design, circular theme of winding, intertwined metals.
I'm going to point to whoever came with Rowan, or we're here to speak to Jazir. It's a bit of an urgent matter.
Right, well, state your business and I will see if he's available.
Knowles, to the north. We've spoken with them.
Your name, sir?
Rowan.
Turns his head, looks to the other guard. The guard kind of with his spear. The door starts to open. He goes in, shuts the door. You hear 1 moment. He's going to check.
Thank you. Just turn and wait.
Waiting outside for some time, and one of the guards along the battlements above, his crossbow kind of lurched over his shoulder, and it peers down, kind of shrugs, walks on.
Does he look familiar? I don't know if that's like something.
Roll history check.
$15 plus history. Where's history? That -1. 14.
14. With the 14, vaguely familiar. Can't put a name to it, but somebody, a face you've seen. Maybe a guard that you've interacted with before. If not a guard, then maybe previously he held a different role. But being a decently small town, somewhat familiar face. Lexi, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. You're awesome. And while we're at it, Keegs, 1392. Thank you for following. After some time, you hear the gate opens, and with an armed guard presence, Jazir makes himself present. Jizz ear. I hate you. He's cleaning his ear as he goes. Cut. Okay. Jazir comes out. Rowan, it's good to see you. What is it? There's something news about the Knolls of the North.
We spoke with them. Rowan's gonna gesture again. They're scared. Probably out here isn't the best place to talk about it. If you wouldn't mind a quieter place, or...
Sure. Come on. Let's go. And he As the guards open up the door completely, the gate opens, and while on the outside it has that stone fortress feel, on the inside it feels a lot like Hernding, just the similar kind of buildings, a little bit more decorative, painted woods, but still the familiar structuring of and architecture that is usually seen in Herndeen or much of the north itself.
Be taken back because this is the first time I've been in the building. Wow, I see why you guys spend all your time in here.
It is a blessing. He marches you back towards one of the nicer, almost Viking-esque dining halls with the thatched roof, and on the inside as you make your way in, it is very much akin to something of that nature. A fire going on either end of this really long table with these really nice decorative, well-crafted chairs. Something that strikes your interest is that those chairs are very, very familiar to you.
Rowan's gonna take one back and lean it back, and
He does good work.
he does. I remember him taking all the time on these. Doors closed, right?
Yeah, at this point, you guys are alone.
Best man I know, one of the best men I know. I've come across many in my 2 years, but he's definitely on the top. But urgent matters, Jazir. The Knolls are scared. There is a volcano. Can't think of the name, but there's a volcano that is to the north.
The ones he left?
And yes, that's the one. And it almost, to them, feels like a monster that is going to wake soon.
There are many myths and legends surrounding Von Silath.
I think this one might be true because they are rushing to prepare for this ice that it's going to erupt. A winter to last over Eswin. But they need their help with preparing food, and we've agreed as long as they don't attack those at Herodine, anybody for that matter, we've agreed to help them stock up on food, meats, primarily. And I come to you seeing if there's any livestock that you are willing to let the Knolls have in exchange the safety of the people of Herondine.
I can imagine that there will be some within the village that will be a hard sell. You know how the winters go. Everyone is, in a lot of ways, fending for themselves. But I'm sure that if we phrase it in the terms of that would deal with our no problem in the north, if they can have some assurance of that, perhaps more people would be keen on that.
Anything, chickens, pigs, that sort of thing. So anything is appreciated if you don't mind putting out the word and let them know there was an agreement that was made, and for their safety is just meats and foods to get them through. I suppose
with that assurance, some of the hunters can be a little more productive as well. If they are not fearing for being hunted by the Knolls, then they can spread out and not have to group up and be less efficient with their hunting.
Did Cole tell the party what the safe signal was?
Yeah, he would have mentioned just one finger up.
The one finger up was just like, hey, cast the spell, we need to talk kind of thing. That's what the signal was.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't
yeah.
like a safe, like...
No, there wasn't really any kind of safe word.
Okay.
You've gathered that there's a certain degree of mutual understanding that the Knoll tribe or groups won't be attacking people, at least if the end of the bargain is held up. So there's a ceasefire currently.
Okay. But I will suggest, if any of the hunters come across gnolls that seem eager to not attack but want to talk, to come find us immediately, so there isn't a confrontation, because we can speak with them.
Well, this is we have our meeting before the rite here soon. I can spread that to the rest of the lords and spread that out to the village.
That's good. Thank you.
Well, something that will have to wait at least till after the rite. You know how that goes. It would be a bad omen to prepare such things before preparing for the winter in Hall.
Yeah. I know how it goes. Excited for that tomorrow.
Me too. That's going to be a good one. Lots of strong fighters. Varshag, the veteran, he's back at it again. And we have some other new ones that have come from the other villages. I'm excited to see. And I imagine some of your friends would like to participate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can think of two right now that are probably going to fight. I hope maybe a couple more, maybe. But you'll definitely see me on that list again.
Be exciting.
Yeah. But I'll let you get to it, Jazir. Do your lordy things. And Rowan's just gonna put his hand out for a handshake.
Shakes it. I will see you tomorrow, my friend.
See you bright and early. And Rowan's gonna open the big door and walk back on up.
Hot Lord Winter. All right. You're escorted out through the circle, out into the Herndine Circle, or the Herndine Square itself.
Right on through. See if anybody is preparing. I'm sure people are preparing left and right.
Absolutely.
He's gonna trot on back to the house.
As you trot on back to the house, you heading out westward, you pass by a little kind of carriage caravan on one of the larger roads before it breaks off into your road. Presumably one of the fighters, one of the families that's come from the other villages to partake.
Any significant colors that pop out?
It has on one of the little banners this face with a scar across the just like way across the face, which would be familiar to you as the veteran Varshag, the veteran. He's renowned for being a champion multiple times, but up there in age now. So he's been through many a rite.
Just gonna smile, seeing him back.
He's grizzled and gruff, just looks like you could strike a match off of his beard or his face scruff, and definitely a veteran. He
nods
and smiles.
on going.
And you ride the rest of the way back up to your home in Erding.
Gonna put Alder away and go to the rest of the house. Check up with everybody.
By this point, we'd be approaching evening, probably 6 or 7 p.m. So at this point, dark, late. And it would be probably time enough that Cole and Asher would have made it back.
Shut the door and proclaim to everybody. Well, Jazir's gonna look into possibly providing livestock for the gnolls.
Super quick, Holson. How successful was our hunt?
You were able to get a stag, which is a decent amount of food for a family of gnolls.
For the puppers? Okay,
For the
perfect.
puppers, yes. They were.
Okay,
they
sorry.
They were grateful. You were able to communicate with them, but it was just kind of like unsung or unspoken kind of agreements. They understood. There was still like some hesitation, still some like consideration for like, are we doing this? Are we making this deal with these enemies or whatever? But they seemed grateful, and once they were feasting, that was put to the wayside. But now
Good to
you've
know. Good to
made
know.
your way
Okay.
back. Yes.
Sorry, Ellie.
All good.
That's all Rowan wanted to say to the party.
So, Karen, Asher, I think we should probably start preparing for whatever's next. I mean,
We do
going
need
to
to
be
get
very cool.
furs and
Well, Ella made us cloaks, so maybe we could, start pumping in magic into it and help with our survival. Because I would like to fight, but, magic is a little frowned upon when you're going against people with swords. So,
Words and
What
a
are-
lot of
What are some of the rules for this rite that we will be participating in tomorrow?
Well, a couple of things, of course, and Rowan's gonna gesture to the magic users. No real magic that could improve or protect you yourself in battle. Anything that wouldn't strike you as entirely normal.
Yeah,
Most everything, then.
the magic from
Yeah.
all weapons. What about that? Is that frowned upon?
They like a certain degree of spectacle. So if you can chalk it up to theatrics, you're good. But if it's very obviously blatantly just magic use, they might be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah.
can you be healed in between rounds?
I wouldn't say no.
In between, yeah. So you'll get different sponsors, people who bet on you. They'll toss a health potion your way, or whoever you got in your corner.
So you can actually be on the sidelines then.
Not necessarily on the sidelines, but yeah, there's a designated spot for team.
so I'm gonna look at Karan and be like, looks like we're his hit crew.
Looks though we'll be taking care of maintenance. So
Do we get
No.
t-shirts?
Crew.
I'm gonna look to my mom.
It might be a bit cold for a t-shirt, but sweater maybe.
Do you want team cloaks?
Perfect.
If so, I'm a 6X large, please.
I'll get
No,
right on
Mom,
that.
no, it's all right, Mom.
What about a flag? Little wavy flags on sticks.
I'll just
It seemed appropriate, even that one gentleman that you took notice of, the grizzled-looking fellow. He had heraldry.
I mean, but sometimes the ones you least expect make the best victories.
Mhm.
Subtlety.
heraldry. I'm just gonna look to my swords. I'm like, well, I have mine, but I can't showcase it. So I think that's a cool idea. If that's something you guys want to do.
I have
But-
paint. We could if Muyer makes a banner, we can just make a little stick figures of everybody, maybe.
I like that idea. We can do that. Mom, do you have any spare cloth or something that we can make a quick banner for
Of course.
Cool Evelyn and I? Cool.
Well,
And I'd love to have you guys in my corner as well as Cole's.
I know that it seems like it's a little bad to be publicizing it, and he'll point to the symbol and the coins that we're wearing.
Was considering that myself, but that might be a bit
It
too
seems
high key.
Yeah.
I think our names separately. A lot of people don't know us. Most people don't know us by our first names.
Other than the wanted posters, but
Right.
What wanted posters?
You could always-
Wanted
Yeah.
posters.
You
seen
could
it.
always go by the title that Martison picked for you, the Sexy Six.
I
thought we were
stand
going
this
for
decision.
So we can do 2 little blades for you, and then maybe for Cole we could do him and his brother, or your teeth, or maybe your spear with
That
teeth.
spear.
The teeth.
The spear.
I
The
like
spear
that.
grit in your teeth. Yes, I can see that.
I
Oh,
like
like-
it.
Like a little chomp, right? Or-
Yeah. I
I
like
love
that.
it.
Yeah, that's a really good
I-
idea.
I am a very good artist. I have time.
You can
Mine can be my axe.
Yeah.
Cleaving a man in two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
secretly in love with his ex.
Can I do lots of blood and maybe some dismembered body parts?
Yes. Everywhere.
Deal. Deal.
I don't. Do we want to scare people?
yeah,
Yes.
that seems a
Yes.
little.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He's the fighter. He gets to go how he wants to present himself.
That's true.
Sure.
That is
Stand in man's
completely
way.
fair.
Yeah, there's an aspect of mind games that you want to play. Let them all fear him.
They should.
And then
Listen to
Briar's
what I did too.
gonna
This
put her
physical
fist
fight.
out. Carnage.
So, is this like to the death, or like what happens if someone dies?
It can happen. Very rare. Very rare. Usually they have potions on the side, but it can happen if enough is done in a short amount of time.
But when it happens, I won't get in trouble.
Within
Let's
reason,
use
I
the word
guess.
if it happens.
Yes.
When?
Probably don't want to kill people.
There are at least 2
And-
people that you probably don't want to kill that will be in the tournament. So just
No promises.
Usually,
He'd
the
have to
rule
touch
is-
me first. He's slow with that big thing.
Usually the rule is once a person is down, that's been down for, you give them time to get back up. If they don't get up in a certain amount of time, they're out. So
it's a
They do
count.
have
There is
crossbowmen
a
at the ready if somebody gets a little too carried away and starts to attack an opponent that's already defeated. they'll take you out. Hopefully
Yeah,
not
so-
all the way yourself either, but
Yeah, so just keep
but
that in mind.
there have been
No.
times in the past where a killing blow was dealt and nothing could be done.
Well,
Please
And
be
it
on
was
your best
not that it was-
behavior, Elwin.
Not that it was intentional, but sometimes somebody gets a good strike in. It happens.
Remember, we want to come off as strong, but we don't want to come off as vicious. They already think we are that.
We'll see.
Bree, that pain of yours. Before the fight, I ask that you, help me put on my war paints. If we're going to do this, I'd like to do it the traditional way for the tribe. To bring honor to them. And that is how I do it.
Yes. I can't heal, but I can paint.
Thank you.
Me too. I'm excited. This will be fun.
Right. I'm gonna check your workshop, Mom, for a roll-out cloth for Bree and whoever wants to work on. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Yep.
Grab
So
it.
you're able to get that, and you grab all the materials and items you need. You guys spend kind of like the night as far as working on that and getting your own little banners, laughing at the designs and the building of it, and getting kind of excited and hyped about being able to wave them in support of your friends during the little tournament combat.
And I make one of the hilts of Rowan's sword kind of look like a little dick. No one can tell, but
Not from a
I know
distance.
it's there.
Rowan's gonna lean down, get closer, like squinting his eyes, and then just like from that position, just look to Bree. Looks good.
I'll spend the night reading what I can find out. From the book of Von Sleth that we got from the bookshop keep.
I would love to help you with that if you don't mind, Cole.
Please, I would love the company.
Count me as interested as well. I feel we need to know as much as we can if we're going to go to such a desolate and dangerous place.
Mm-hmm.
Study party before
I mean,
get smart
He's the
before
only-
you get strong.
he's the only one who has to worry about being fit and ready in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We just have
Reading,
to manage to make it there.
reading
just have-
lore and studying right before a fight is the best way for me to get in to my zone.
Rowan's gonna go in the backyard like he did the last time before the right, and he just drilling with his swords, fundamentals.
Your father falls in. He steps on out, coffee cup in his hand, sips it, and you see him. He sets it down on the steps of the porch, and all right,
Oh.
see how rested I am.
Rowan's gonna spin his swords around and start walking around. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, well, let's hope you see past it. He kind of grins a little bit.
Show me what you got, Dad.
And for sake of expediency of this, you guys can.
Does he whip my
go at
ass?
it.
Does he whip my ass?
No. I mean, he's still got
are
it. He's still got it, but he
Okay.
doesn't whip your ass. Like it's a good fight. He is a talented swordsman. Obviously a little bit further up there in age, but he's got some patience and wisdom in his fighting that like you kind of envy in your like eagerness, where like similar to what you've seen in that you've seen in Jathril. Like they just have that kind of like old man strength.
That
and
composure.
Composure,
that-
yeah. In the face of the battle, like it's intimidating almost because it's like they're not neurotic or eager in their fighting. They're just composed.
No facial expressions either. That's kind of what makes it a little unnerving. Be laughing when we go back inside the house.
For summary's sake, as you guys are kind of reading about Von Silath, in general, it speaks of the calamitous eruption of the ice volcano. A volcano not of lava, but of one that spews out a liquid that freezes instantaneously anything it touches. A volcano that's been dormant for several thousand years. A time when all elves were one people. The ancestors of all the elven races that we know today, the protectors of the realm, the predominant force in Telvernia, Aelos itself, stored away in their now frozen crypts scattered throughout the north, their icy tombs, their gem-laden skulls, a component for the satisfaction of Von Silath's wrath. Now more present time, as the gnolls referred to coldies, the snow elves of the north, immune to the effects of the bitter cold that would freeze almost instantaneously any other life form. But these blessed with pure resistance to the cold. The protectors of the north, the watchers over this dangerous weapon, Von Silath. It speaks of the Ice Atronach, a frozen entity that was said to have animated and walked Aelos, seeking to squelch itself the grumbling of Von Silath. Its home. Not many have made contact with those far in the north. The snow elves, their duty lying with the mountain itself. Its protection, its safekeeping, its calming. Is there any other details that you're specifically looking for?
I understand the coldness is extreme, and to be touched by the ice lava from the volcano is to be turned instantly into ice itself. But can we clarify how cold it may be to how much protection we would need from it, or how to have protection to be able to withstand it?
Once you start to climb the mountain itself, anything beyond the north, the frozen river of the north, even just resistance to cold, you would take half damage. But still be consistently taking damage. Those that are immune are immune.
So with pelts, with
Somebody with half or just like resistance to, with some modifications, they could get themselves to a point where they were fully resistant. There's probably no situation where those who don't have a natural resistance can get beyond just a resistance to it. So the further up north you go, even with, just all the protection in the world, just wouldn't be able to get beyond resistance to it. Yes.
And you said they're called frost elves?
Snow elves.
Snow elves.
Yep. Very clever, huh?
As they're studying, Cole would look at Aurelia and go,
A snow elf. I guess that's a better name than Cody's. Did you know that is what you were?
Yeah, there was somebody who came through Kingshaven once who asked me why I was so far south, and I didn't understand, and they said snow elves aren't seen this far south usually. I'm only half, though, as far as I know.
Well, nonetheless, it's an honor to meet you and to know your race. Karan, what style of elf are you?
I'm known as an Aramine, or Moon Lake Elf in common. I'm actually curious because I don't know what your people's traditional name would be. Off the top of
Von
my head.
Min?
Von Min.
Yeah. Which now, knowing about the volcano, ugh.
Do you think there's these skulls still out there that we could find to place the volcano in the crypts?
I mean,
You-
it depends.
Your guess is as good as mine,
Mhm.
and it depends on how they appease the volcano.
We really do just have to speak with them and find out. Everything else is just stories and mythos as far as we've been able to gather.
We should definitely tell the rest about the monster that lives higher up.
I wonder if there's a correlation to other monsters we've been dealing with.
The possibility of an elemental. Maybe a supercharged elemental. Could definitely be something to think about.
Certainly a potential. But if there's any one thing that I would say to the two newest members, I wouldn't rule anything out. There's things I never thought we would even consider a possibility that don't ever seem to escape my mind.
Well, believe me, the first couple of days of meeting you, we fought a god, and I seen people come back from the dead. So, I don't rule anything out with your group.
So long as you're prepared.
My guess is we're going into, much like your people, Karan, a very unique culture and it sounds like they are very cut off from everything.
And it's not just by choice, it's... They in fact, they don't have a choice. It sounds like they are strictly duty-bound to guarding Von Silith and placating whatever it is that would potentially doom the planet, or Telvernia as we know it. It's concerning. My question is, it's been so long since there was an event. Is it just unfortunate circumstance and timing? Or was there something that exacerbated this? These
Are the
gnolls-
snow elves okay? Is that
Exactly. We don't know. We may not even be able to get answers to our questions.
Olson, would you say at this point Rowan has come in yet, or would this be during when he was sparring with his dad?
It can be after. You can be here. Because they would have had to have read it first, so they were reading it while you were doing your training.
Okay. Rowan hearing the tail end of Karan mentioning about his people and whatnot. Have you heard from Kalandra?
No,
Maybe she's
actually.
got some insight on your people. Maybe she's gotten there.
I have been meaning to, but at the same time, I've been apprehensive, I guess. Maybe now it'll be easier now that we've put Dom to rest to update her, considering what she did for him. Also,
Cool.
I've been curious if we should communicate to Elizabeth. I don't know. I've trying to maintain a low
Elspeth,
profile.
not Bellabeth.
Yes, Elizabeth. Mhm.
No, Sky was like, huh?
Oh, I was like, no. Don't want to talk to her.
I was even going to suggest messaging Coel. Out of respect for Dom, I think Dom would, knowing that his sister is terrified of who he supposedly was in the picture her mother has framed, I think it might help Dom fully go to rest, knowing his sister, or I don't even expect her to believe us, but maybe just letting her know that it wasn't him, it wasn't us, and to really think about how her brother fought and how her father died. I don't know. I don't even know the words.
I see the same side that you do, but maybe this is Bree rubbing off on me. I'm leery because of her proximity. Even if she's innocent in this, even if there's a right for her to know, and if she wants to know, maybe she believes it. She's too close. Besides, there's also the element of, am I really the person who should talk to her? I don't know. And we can only talk to so many people in a given period of time.
I wish I could talk to her. But I don't know how to. I don't even know the slightest inkling of magic.
Had I a reliable means to give you the ability, I would, but it's a bit beyond me to craft something like Ash's Stone. Besides, that amulet requires one on the other side as well to work.
It's alright, Karan, don't worry about it. I just figured that might be something we could try. It's okay, thank you.
At one point, I think it would be good to just plant that seed within her.
It's my thoughts too, but
she's very observant and rebellious.
Perhaps for her, well, we should collectively determine. It's only fair that we make that decision as a team, because it couldn't.
It's still fresh. She's not going anywhere. We'll let it sit for a little bit longer, then we'll talk about it later.
I think I will probably try to make a point to reach out to Kalandra. It has been a while, and She deserves to know. If she hasn't heard already, but I wouldn't be surprised if she hasn't, considering the distance and isolation. Elizabeth, we could collectively determine as well. I feel bad, but it's not like we can change what happened.
She deserves to know.
But we haven't heard anything about Kazarak, even when we were in prison.
No. We don't
Do you
know
think
anything.
he successfully fled?
I could try to reach out to him, but
I
we don't know if he was for or against. We have nothing. He could have tried to flee, considering his relation to the king, or perhaps there was something else. Yeah. He could be with Elizabeth now, for all we know. Maybe speaking with her could give us that answer. I have only so much resource. Briar can assist with some, but
My thought would be to reach out to Kazarak, because we might be able to get his guidance on telling Dom's birth mother.
I think
It
there's
might
really
be-
any book that can guide anybody on how to tell a loved one that one of their loved ones is gone.
But
There's
it might be better coming from someone she trusts and a friend versus some random voice in her head that, no offense, Grund, she's never met any of us.
I was surprised she was receptive to my communications initially as she was. But this is a bit heavier. Speaking of where is Briar at? Aurelia, do you know where Briar is?
He's still painting. She and Marty were drinking and painting, so you can imagine how that's going.
I don't think any of these should ever see the light of day then.
Karan, do you know any elders of the Naramine who might have information about the history of the North? If this book is to be believed, the relationship might have been stronger back then, and they might know something.
Out of character, I believe so. Holson, does Karan know the elders that I don't know the names to yet?
Yes.
That Karan would definitely know the names to.
As far as like, not thousands of years old, because they only live to be about like 700-ish. So, which
Yeah,
I mean, I guess is a little bit closer to the time. But, yeah, you would be privy to some.
Okay. I mean, because like, the only ones that I'd be familiar with were like my direct instructors. That, well, personally, right now. So I guess I say.
Sorry. I had to look up. Your direct instructor's name, which I'll type it in there, is Liliet. Lilac. Yes.
I mean, I know I have. Just Vildriel would be the only other that I would directly think to communicate with, which, again, younger.
Yeah.
So, Liliet.
Stories might have been passed down, is basically my thought.
Typically, the proper elders, or the eldest of them, don't have a lot of direct interaction with. I could reach out to my instructor and see what might be able to be garnered from that. I can't say for sure, because unless there's some tome or something that's kept, it's not like any of us were around when it happened. Even that's beyond the scope of our longevitous lifetimes.
Yeah.
But I could perhaps that, at least for tonight. Or were you about to say something else?
Just Ella chimes in with like her knowledge, having been Sun Elf. Some of the things that the Sun Elves studied was pertaining to. It's all again just kind of general knowledge that most elves know about the history of Aelos. Just like elves were the predominant race several thousand years ago. Just that same kind of thing. Like before, there was a divergence of like almost an evolution of speciation amongst the elves. But the elves were again back then, as I've mentioned, just referred to as magikind, and it was just creatures with a magical propensity. During the calamity of Gehendra's reign, and after that was a whole shift in
the divergence
of yes, the divergence of yeah. Some refer to it as the calamity, some refer to it as the divergence. So more common among the elves is to call it the divergence, because that's when there was the splitting of the different types of elves. Even during that time, the divergence was simultaneous with Gehendra's reign and like enslavement of Telvernia and Aelos itself, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when there was like different focuses of elves being, so like back then the Naramine focused on ways to contain or imprison, the Naramine being the Moonlake elves, Gehendra, the main like just foot soldiers that fought not only Gehendra but Gehendra's army and minions were the Sun Elves. They were very proficient in not only dealing with magical creatures and fighting against them, but also in using magic themselves. They had a pretty strong magic proficiency. And just, yeah, the wood elves were essentially like common folk elves.
Rowan, as his mom mentions magic, his eyes are just gonna slowly like start to focus on her, like suspiciously. Can you do magic, Mom?
It is a long lost practice. The Sun Elf Kingdom hasn't really maintained a large standing army in a long time. Hasn't been any need to. But general defense, of course, but back then the armies used to be the strongest army the land has ever seen, with a combination of combat and magic use and the combat of magical beings and magic users. Still some to this day that are kept in hand, especially the King's Court. Strong fighters. But it has been some time since I've been there.
There any specialty with I'm gonna point to my uncle's sword. Is there anything about that I need to know of that I'm not aware of yet?
It is rumored to have, I was never taught it. Even your grandfather did believe that it had magical powers. I never saw him activate them or anything, but others of the council did know of that. Your uncle, also your namesake Lymiel, also believed that it was a magical sword. It is a traditional symbol of, well, the king to have that sword. The sword and the tablet. The only thing that would change through generations, or if there was a change of hands through family arrangements, would be the iconology of the pommel, which right now is the wolf, our family.
Thinking back to the sparring match he had with Dom. There's something about it, yeah.
It very much gives off a evocation magic
Mhm.
whenever you detect that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll have to figure it out. Then Rowan's just gonna kind of get excited.
Maybe your deity lives on in your sword.
Will that be a thing? You know, that thing has been through.
It has certainly helped us out of a fair number of situations.
It has.
Your grandfather certainly believed in the deification of the wolf, our heritage. Lymio, not so much. Not until he got, I guess, a bit of an omen. Some wolf pups that he kind of staked claim to. Unfortunately, I don't think they survived his sacrifice as well.
Your family's deity, they came to them in a wolf shape?
Sounds like possibly two.
Some connection you see there.
Yeah, that when
His name got quite taken literally.
yeah, the first few times that my deity spoke to me, she used a wolf avatar, essentially. Or embodied a wolf.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess if you ever have to find yourself in another conversation again, you can always ask.
Generally, those conversations are very one-sided, but
I saw it all.
yeah.
I saw her. She look elvish.
You've certainly been a fountain of information, Ella. I don't know why we're wasting money on books. We could have just asked you in the first place.
I don't know all the details, just what I can remember with my recollection.
I came up.
We know more now than we knew before. Yes, thank you.
Your party continues to just amaze me with the things that you've been through.
You'll be
While
through
reading-
all those... Sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
While reading the book, I've understood that no one, even those with cold resistance, cannot withstand the temperature of the mountain, the volcano. The potion that Bree gave me. Are there other potions that could give you this effect? Resistance to the temperatures of outside?
Provided I haven't made it myself explicitly, but provided we find the ingredients in the recipe, yes, but the way that it's my understanding is that still might not even be enough.
I agree, but
Something.
with
I think maybe if we stack a bunch of... Because I can... And he'll... Since we're taking a rest, he'll cast fire armor on himself, or flame armor on himself, and be like, this will keep us warm for about 10 minutes, but maybe if you put this and a bunch of other warm clothes and...
Yeah,
My
problem.
My sword could be a walking fireplace.
yeah,
How much heat does it give off?
No, never had it out long enough to tell you. I'm usually flailing that thing around, but it is hot.
There are certainly some brews that can be made for temporary resilience to the cold and warmth of the body. There are, depending if you can find the enchantments, as gems rumored to be able to provide resistances. Either provide resistance to cold itself with a blue gem, or to provide a warming effect in of itself with a red gem.
Are there any vehicles or method of transportation that might be able to survive some animal that can handle the weather that close?
Well,
It's
there
only
is
other
the
things I
old
can think of.
the old monster truck out back. It's comedy.
How many cc's is it?
Yes, it's about 800 horsepower. So stupid. Its name is Gravedigger. Oh my gosh. Throwback.
It's just 800 horses strapped to this contraption.
It's literally 800.
Just two skis with an engine.
How did we
Yeah.
miss that coming in?
Either way, we'd have to double or triple our efforts to make sure that no one freezes to death save for, well, I guess you. Gesture to Aurelia.
Rowan's gonna
This-
look at his gauntlets that he wears with Dom. He's gonna point to the blue gem.
Is that the gem you reference?
That would be one. It would be unrecoverable. It needs to be crushed up into dust.
And you consume it and it's temporary, or
No, it would be applied to the weave of a cloak, and then that would be resistant to cold.
But it's impermanence then. I can apply that to the cloth.
Yes.
So we need
If
more.
we did
I
that,
have-
we make a leather base. I can do some furs. You weave an interior that's enchanted.
I also have, Rowan's gonna think on it. He has a good sized fire opal from a while ago. He had 2, now he has 1.
Flamestones, yeah. Yeah, you had the second tier of one, right?
Mhm.
Which would
2 second tiers.
2 second
Sorry.
tier. 2 second tiers
2,
would make 4
including
four
Dom.
cloaks
Sorry, I
worth
did
of
not mean
warming warming cloaks.
So, I mean, one person can have.
Actually, probably
I'd hate-
5 worth, because it's like 2.5 each stone.
So, I really. I have to.
But these aren't commonly sold in this town, I'm assuming.
Probably not. I mean, I can take the other firestone to where I can at least still have his ice one, and I have the fire in this one.
Unless gems is something gnolls are known to covet and treasure. We can ask them. They might be willing to part with something if they know it's for the quest that we accepted to help them along with everyone else.
Yeah.
Rowan, if you don't mind me out speaking, the stories that you have all told me of Dom, if these crystals can protect you, what better way to honor his memory, then to use them to protect the party one last time, even if it is from just the temperature.
I was thinking the same thing.
We would all have a piece of him figuratively and in our armors.
And Rowan, according to the book, seems there may be more gems up north. Maybe we'll find some.
Yeah.
Dom definitely would have immediately removed one had he found a better, so...
He would. He's gonna take off the gauntlet. He's gonna hold on to it. Rowan is really fighting. It's very sentimental.
I'm gonna walk up to Rowan and put my hand on the gauntlet and I understand. But remember, Dom's not in here. And then I'm gonna point and touch on your chest. He's in here. This is just an object.
I don't know why I just got an E.T. reference right there.
'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be.
Karan's finger lights up.
Are we wanting to do this tonight, or can this wait till tomorrow?
It can
I don't
wait.
think we're going out. It's pretty late now.
Well, I'd like to bring Dom with me one last time.
Of course. You
Then
have...
he's gonna fasten that.
Okay. Anything else
One last
anybody would
fight.
like to do before calling it a night? Okay.
No.
Expediency's sake, the night goes by. Boop. It's done. Boop. And morning comes. The party feeling the comfortable cold air before the rite. There's an air about not only the household itself, but almost the village that you can just feel the vibe from the village of just like the excitement, the festival being prepared.
Mom, will you be coming? Again?
Absolutely. I will be in the audience, cheering you on, waving these flags.
What do they look like?
That's what they look
like.
What
Get
do
us
they-
over there. And do you want me to show now or wait?
You can show it now. So
Okay.
they can see the flag that.
So first, we have Rowan's flag.
Hey!
Whoa! It's a little dick.
Yes.
Dick, okay.
Yes.
Then we have Cole's flag with little teeth and the pointy spear and a little bit of bloodage. Then garbage.
Yes, I love it. It's a good one.
So you opted for giblets as opposed to like a full body is a good choice.
Yeah.
I like the river of blood. It really brings out the shine in the axe.
And I really think it brings out his eyes too, like the bloodlust, you know?
I mean, that
You mean
and then
our
seeing-
eyes?
No, his eyes. He is more bloodlusty than you.
Oh, that's very fair. That's
Yeah.
very fair.
Ron's gonna
Um,
go up and do like a little side hug to Bree. And no, she doesn't like hugs, but I've never had this kind of support before. I didn't have it the last time either, so maybe this. Thank you.
Feast bomb. Yeah.
Well, we have myself and Karan in your corner. I've prepared primarily healing spells for the day, so let's not get into any other scraps.
Do we make a deal that if it comes down to the three of us, no healing spells, and
the winner buys the loser's drinks.
Well, we're not healing in the actual fight itself, so I think that might be a
We'll
bit
top
unfair.
you all off. We'll
Yes,
make sure
exactly.
you're all equally topped off if it's all three.
There we go. We'll make sure that both of you are in prime condition to go at each other.
And the likeliness is going to be 3. It's only ever been 2 at the end of the day.
We can't help you against Elwyn, I'm sorry.
You hear that, Owen? Rowan said he's gonna kick your ass.
Well, I hope you aren't too fond of Rowan. It's the less you'll be seeing of him.
Before we leave for the right, Cole would take off his top attire and go to Bree.
So, the paints for my tribe. On my left side of my arm, I like the 3 white stripes for my brothers.
Okay.
The-
Okay.
And the right, I like, tribal. The best you can do, I understand. The front, I have this scar across my chest. I don't like to hide it, I like to highlight it.
So, like a great way to highlight it. Does it go like this? If we add 2 dots, is it like a happy face, maybe?
More of just filling in the scar. If we could do that, happy face would probably be, distracting. Although maybe good in a fight, distracting, but not this time.
Only someone truly confident in their abilities would go out there with a happy face painted on them.
I want one.
Okay.
We can use a smiley face, and my nipples can be the eyeballs.
Alright,
Yes.
give me a
Like
smiley
the
face,
little-
but make it bigger than his.
You like
Okay.
a little tongue sticking out
Impossible.
of yours.
Yes.
Okay. Bree's
Okay,
gonna go
and-
to town.
And you do so. And you do so.
Finger paints.
Yeah, with just his kind of pauldrons on and a harness, and then little smiley face on his belly. The goober that he is, accepts it. All right. Anything else the party would like to do to prepare? Okay. You guys wait around for a while. Have a nice hearty breakfast to prepare, and make your way to the circle, more so outside of the circle, which one of the walls shares kind of this amphitheater. These tall walls that meet the same height as the circle walls itself, and this wooden, long, thick logs that make up the wall of this gladiatorial arena, this little amphitheater. You're led through the gate in through these different halls that are dimly lit. Here and there, light shines in from the cracks between the logs. There's this tension, that pre-fight jitter that happens. This already you can hear kind of a rumble, just a dull rumble of the crowd. A number of people that have made their way into this tournament gathering. There's a man there taking in entrance participants.
Go last. I'm a little nervous.
You'll be just
I'll
fine.
go.
Well, look at you. You're a big one. I assume fighter.
Yes. Winner.
I wouldn't bet against you, that's for sure. Right, state your name and title.
Elwyn.
Elwyn the what?
Elwyn. I don't know. I didn't have a title.
How about the Large?
Yes. Elwyn the Large.
Is this, as Briar's kind of holding up the banner, is this your team? Yeah? Is that your banner?
Yes.
He just laughs at it. Alright, Elwyn the Large. I'll have you pass on into the next room. There will be a group of people who will be placing sponsorships on you. I wouldn't doubt that you get a few. Alright, and next.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Name's
related?
Cole. Yeah, you can't see the similarity.
No. Yeah, I see it now. Yes.
Name's Cole.
Cole the what?
Oh. Subtle.
Cole the Subtle. Right. Alright. You as well, good sir. Make your way in. The rules will be discussed with you, and you will be walked through how this will play out. You will be added to the bracket, and sponsors will be placed upon you. La, da, da.
Hearing that he's asking for titles, Rowan's going to turn to whoever's next to him. I don't have the time. I think, hang on.
Simple.
Rowan's gonna tap his flame sword. And he's just gonna kind of bolster up a bit when he walks up to the guy.
State your name
Rowan.
and title.
The dragon?
Rowan the Dragon. Alright. Alright, Mr. Dragon. Go on. You will have sponsors placed on you.
Rowan's gonna turn around and shrug to his dad. Drogon. Close enough.
This guy, you have paint on your face, by the way.
The other
Imagine
one was
that's-
still drippy with blood. It got really.
It's on your hands.
I know.
All
I'm
right.
sure Briar's got the same paint on the face too, so
Uh,
it's canon.
Cannon.
You guys make your way in. They take you to a designated area where you can kind of set up your team for support. This dimly torch-lit little dugout that leads before the right. One of the guys comes in. All right, so you will hang out here for a while. Then we will contact you when it is your turn. You'll be added to the bracket. If you attempt to make any kind of killing blow on a downed opponent, you will be stopped with force. If it happens in one swift blow, it happens. But it's not ideal, but it happens. It is a non-stop tournament. What will happen is you will have... What's up?
I'm just, I said, fuck, Elwyn's gonna kill someone. Nothing is cool.
I mean, he did say that, so
He's
It's
just
a
don't
non-stop
understand.
bracket. You will be placed. Everybody each will give an opponent. Once you move on from the bracket, you will wait for the single bracket to be done, then the double bracket, then it will go until there is a finalist, last person standing. You are allowed to return after your match to receive any kind of recovery that you can receive and prepare for your next match. You will get a short rest. You may observe the fighters in the next match. There is a place for you to do that while you are recovering.
Question. Do you have a store of medical supplies here if we needed to procure more, or is that...
It is not for use. We do not. What we have is given your sponsors. Your sponsors will donate health potions, other healing supplies, other things to bet on your victory.
So procure them from a shop outside and bring them.
Let me look here. He looks on kind of this list. Elwyn the Large, I presume?
Yes.
Looks like you have 5 sponsors. Each have donated a greater healing potion. Cole the Subtle?
Yeah.
This looks like you have got 4 sponsors who are betting on your victory. That is 3 greater healing potions, one healing potion. That is bet on you. Rowan the Dragon. You? Your sponsorship is indefinite. High bidder. Anything you need to recover, I guess. Lucky you.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
look
we'll
to
need
Karun and
much of that.
Diamonds. Ask for diamonds.
In as far as health potions go. Greater.
Oh.
Healing
Yes,
potions.
it's worth a shot.
Diamonds. Infinite diamonds.
Rowan's like throwing his hand up, like down. Okay.
If we don't use the potions that were given to us by the end
No.
of the tournament.
He's like, those are my potions. I get the extras.
Use them.
Okay.
Use them up now. Use them or lose them.
How does sharing work? Does sharing count?
Yes, if you want to lose, you're more than able to share, I guess.
Okay. Well, I was just curious. Thank you.
Your sponsors might not be too happy about that for next year, but
Right. Rowan's just kind of taken back. He didn't have sponsors the last time.
all right, this way. Fighters. 5 minutes. You will come follow me, and we will meet in the red room. So you have 5 minutes to do whatever you need to do beforehand, and all the participants. Some of the participants you see are already kind of going in. You see Varsheg, the veteran. He is ready with his.
Excuse me, you said what room?
The red room. It's called the red room because it is the room where you will exit to go bleed, and it is the room you will return bleeding even more.
Cole, hearing the red room multiple times through this party, is going to look at Rowan kind of like with an uneasy look, like,
You could also hear it as the war room.
It's
That's also another name that other people call it.
Not the
but
red
it's
chamber.
not.
It's different.
Yes,
yeah,
not
Asher,
cheaper. I was
like
gonna
it
say,
would have
it's not- it's
clicked
not a
with
chamber.
Asher, and he would have been
Yeah,
like,
it's
it,
not.
no,
We're good.
this-
We're good.
Oh,
It's not the
okay.
room. Not that same room. No. This is something that people walk in and out of. It'll be alright.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. Alright.
Are we actually in where we're staged? Are we able to watch the fight, or do we actually
Yes,
have to
you
leave
will.
watch it? Okay, we can't
They'll
watch
take you to a separate dugout where you'd be able to watch from. It's separate from the audience itself, yeah. But if you've assigned yourself and been signed up as crew, essentially, they'll take you aside to that. A little bit closer. It's almost like on the front lines, but it's still an audience section. But it's just has easier access to those red rooms and the dugout chambers for healing and recovery and getting back to their people.
Rowan's gonna turn to Karun, Asher, and Briar, and Aurelia. I'm assuming Aurelia and Briar probably came down that area too. Alright. And he's gonna kind of throw like a little like hand fist to everybody to kind of do a little fist bump to everybody. Alright. Wish me luck.
You got this.
You don't need it.
Yes, you'll be just fine, Cole. Sorry. Have to root for Rowan here, though. I'm sure you'll do fine.
No, don't
Easy on him.
apologize. I just have a lot of respect that you guys will be in my corner, hardly knowing me, but I guess one way to always know somebody is to see how they fight, so let me introduce you to Cole.
As he bows.
And I will be sitting in both of y'all's corners with a healing spell ready.
So Rowan, remember when you fought my dad? Just stay like very loose. Make sure they don't try any cheap tricks, right? No pockets in, none.
No pockets in. Got it.
So yeah, you just be careful. Don't let them trick you like my dad would. Yeah.
Alright, you got it.
Yeah.
Start quick thinking.
Yeah.
And I've got detect magic ready if something seems a little...
Yeah. I don't want to replay what happened last time.
Yeah, I don't see if we're not casting anything on you, but you could probably look to see if they're carrying a certain magical weapon, armor.
I mean,
That's just intelligence gathering, right?
I think so. Alright. I'll see you guys later. Rowan's gonna turn to go to the entrance.
Make your way into the war room, red room. See all the other participants there. Somewhere in the ballpark of 20 to 30 combatants from all over the north, the different villages. Halsey, Herndine, Ulstern, Agvadal. That anticipation of the bracket to be announced, it's kind of hushed. Some people kind of got that anxious, like, kind of bouncing hyper energy going. Others just calm. Preparing, waiting for the fight. And after some time, waiting in the room, that same man that led you in comes in with a little scroll. He unravels it. The bracket has been decided. The first fight of the 311th rite will be Cole the Subtle versus Ygritte the Trapper. And with that, we'll take a break.
All right.
Stick around.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back. We're going to take a little break.
Does.
Go get yourself some. Oh, yeah, we'll get to see what that spear does. I'm excited for that. Take a break, and we'll get back with the Cole fight. Cool. Ew. Enjoy the little break. Go take a poop. Go eat it, and then we'll be right back. I mean, eat snack.
What?
I mean, eat.
Please don't do that.
Please don't eat.
We're gonna
poop. Please
make sure this is gonna get cut out.
No, leave it in. Leave it in. Happy show. Hi, Guy Fox Ninja. First time.
What's up,
ninja.
Guy Fox?
Guy Fox Ninja. First time. Chat.
A second
Welcome.
Fox.
There can only be
Short
one.
rest. We'll be
Fight
back.
to the death.
15-ish minutes.
You have entered the right.